I'm Matt Spicer, one of the coaches at the club. Here I am, age 16, part of a successful men's Midland League team that was managed by the club's founder, Mike Smith. That's him in the glasses, just appearing in the shot now at the bottom left. When I heard Mike was returning to Yosk to watch the first competition at the Jeffreys Arena, I knew I had to ask him a few questions. Hi there, welcome to the Jeffreys Arena. I'm lucky enough to be with Mike Smith, who was our founding chairman, the man who bought us the track in the first place. Behind us we have a plaque. We can see this was opened almost 30 years ago exactly to the date by Olympian Lynn Davis. I'm just going to have a few words with Mike and see if he can remember much about those early formative years. Okay, so back in the early 80s, this was an area which I can fondly remember using as a hammer throwing cage, and there was a shot put circle. Mike, can you remember too much at all about those early days back in the very early 80s? I seem to remember you with a megaphone stuck to your lips most of the time. Can you remember the track before, when we were just using it as a grass only?
Over there was the athletics track, all in grass. Over here was the hammer. Down here was the shot put, and the long jump ran all the way along there, down by the side of the houses. And that's all we had to start with.
I remember
that for several years before, but I always wanted to fight, and I did fight to try and get an athletics track down here. When they finally decided to let us have an athletics track here, they wanted to do a 6-lane track, and I argued quite appreciably with the council and the Gloucester Air people to make sure that we didn't get a 6-lane one, because I knew what Cheltenham was like. We got an 8-lane track, and that was the real fight to make sure it was an 8-lane athletics track.
Thank you. Mike, many people over the years have wondered perhaps why we compete in the yellow and green. It's a very distinctive kit. Can you remember at all why we decided as a club that would be our colours and the design?
Yes, you're quite right to say it's distinctive. We wanted something that was different from a lot of other clubs, but the colours green and gold were put up for vote by the athletes around here, and that for some reason got chosen as the colour, green and gold.
So it was the athletes who decided that? It was nothing to do with you? Excellent.
No, not the colour. The colour they had the choice of.
Brilliant. And can you also remember, obviously we're called Yeaton District, can you remember why we might have chosen the term and district, why it just wasn't Yate Athletic Club?
The only club in the area, this area those days, was Bristol Athletic Club. And we were travelling to Thornbury to coach athletes, and it was obviously really necessary to count in all the area around here, so that we didn't just leave it Yate. We just left it as Yate, Chip and Sodbury, and quite a big area of this part.
Thank you. Mike, we've now obviously got ourselves a brand new track, and things are starting to pick up again. Athletes are starting to approach the club. Have you got any words of wisdom at all, or any encouragement you can give to anything maybe thinking about joining the club?
Well, I've always said all my life, not for athletics only, but for my children and my grandchildren, that whatever you do some sport. Never sit at home and not do anything at all. So get involved, and in fact, both my son and my daughter and one of their children all got involved with athletics down here, but they proceeded into other sports. But to anyone, for goodness sakes, athletics is a wonderful thing, wide range of events.
Something there for everybody, isn't there, with athletics?
Something there for everybody, yes, a variety of events there.
Just before we wrap up, Mike, have you got any words of wisdom to Jeremy, our chairman now, or any future chairman who might be watching this in years to come?
Keep involved. Keep involved yourself. I always wanted to be involved, and this is the reason when I left the club, I didn't want to come down and be in Body's way, so I left it and went clearly away. And I think if you are here, be involved, do everything you can. You haven't got a lot to keep up now, it's a pretty good track. I suppose the next thing could possibly be is to try and get some big meetings on. We've had the Midlands versus Wales versus Avon here, but we haven't had a bigger meeting than that to my knowledge at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Mike. That's brilliant to see you again. Hopefully we'll see you again over the coming months and years. Thanks a lot very much.
Thank you very much.